They say that even a second is an eternity in Formula One, so going 4 winter months with no racing at all has seemed a very long time indeed. We're back though in Melbourne, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, man who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction, I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
Let's convert this pole position into a win today. Good luck.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. It's McLaren in pole position then, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Rosberg, Kimi Raikkonen, and Vettel, Bottas, Massa, Perez, and Jenson Button, Hülkenberg, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, and Grosjean, Kvyat, Gutierrez, Jolyon Palmer, and Rio Haryanto, Magnussen, and Ericsson, Pascal Wehrlein, and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
What's up everybody, you're watching Worldwide T and welcome back to our F1 2016 Career Mode, playing as ourselves with the McLaren Honda F1 team. Now, as you can see, we are starting pole position for the first ever race in our series. For me, that's quite an accomplishment. So for now, for our formation lap, we're really just getting some heat into our tires. You know, we don't want to overheat the engine, overheat the engine, who would do that? But we don't want to heat up the brakes too quickly, so we just want to save that for the last couple of corners to get some heat up in the brakes, heat up in some tires, make sure we get some good traction out of these couple corners. And so as you can see, now we've cut, so we're now about to start the race for the F1 2016 Australian Grand Prix. We're about to start. We are in pole position for the F1 Grand Prix. It should be a good one. We're just waiting for the rest of the drivers to line up, and it should be great any time now. Alright, as we go to 5 red lights at the Australian Grand Prix. And we're off. A great start from Hamilton as we go fast. Not the greatest of starts, but we have. I think Hamilton comes from our right. He comes into the corner. We brake a little early. We break through and we pass them. We get a good traction out of that corner and we accelerate through the straights with lots of speed. Well done. Braking nice and early. Alright, getting a good turn on that corner. And I was just really just trying to not really pace myself throughout this bit. Just keeping, we turned a little bit to the right there, completely lost a little bit of speed and time, but no worries. Ricciardo now. Ricciardo is well behind now. Hamilton used to be second, now it's Ricciardo. Alright, so just really getting used to our track. You know, we practiced, we had a good practice. Now just cutting to just about to come to the second lap. We're still in pole position. We set the fastest lap, of course, because we're the first people to cross the line. But as you know, we're coming to the second lap. Now we cut to the later under the second lap, and we're just really got some heat up into the tires. Now we brake pretty hard into the last couple of turns, and we're trying to get a lot of traction. But as you can see, Ricciardo is not giving up. He's still behind us. We still have lots of the race to go, so he's still on our tail. But you know, we got that McLaren Honda engine. We're really pushing ourselves. We're trying to cut through the corners, as you can see there. So now cutting through the third lap, Ricciardo sets the fastest lap. Now, as you can see, DRS is enabled, and you can see that we're doing pretty well. We're not doing bad for the McLaren Honda, considering we got pole position from qualifying. And just to bring up from qualifying, we did pretty well. I mean, our crew did a great job with the car. We got some new chassis, but now, as you can see, we are cutting into the pits. Don't want to make sure we're going too fast in the current speed. We have to go for the pit speed. I go a little bit too slow. I brake completely. And we'll go back and we should be okay. So we do not get a penalty going into the pits. We should be fine. As you can see, we're coming up, and I really hope this is a fast lap time. We got to get a really good time. What? Oh my god. 3 seconds. 3 seconds for a pit stop. Are you alright? You know, we're just gonna have to try our best and catch up. We shouldn't have lost too much time. We should be okay. It seems that I happen to be pitting a lap early, I think, because we did go for the one-stop strategy, which should be good because we are saving. But now I decide to go onto rich fuel so I can really catch up. As you can see, we come back. We skip to lap 6. You can see that Hamilton has actually pitted a lap after us, which is kind of surprising, which I think Hamilton would have pitted a little later. But as you can see, we take the DRS, we can catch up to him. Oh no, we don't have DRS, we just use the slipstream. We brake a little bit later into him, and we take that position. So Hamilton now is behind us for the Australian Grand Prix. Now we just try to catch up to the rest of the drivers up ahead, even though I'm pretty sure these drivers have not pitted. So as you can see, we've just skipped a little bit. We've caught up to Nasser. We're on his tail. We shouldn't be too far behind, and we should be able to pass him in the next couple laps, or by the end of this lap. Who knows, maybe they're going to lap this lap. We're just going to have to find out, but we are on it. We're trying to get the best of the slipstream. We're still on the rich fuel. We're trying to get, oh, we cut down in the inside. We got a risky move, a little bit aggressive, but we still have it. We are able to pass Nasser. Now it's just Ericsson up ahead. Ericsson fighting pretty well for that position, but we come around, we brake, we bump a little bit. Ericsson going very slow, but technically it's not his fault. Ericsson, I think that's Kivet that go into the pits. We get good traction off that corner, and we get off this thing. We get DRS. We're able to pass Rosberg, and that's Ricardo up ahead, going very slow into the corner. And you can see Palmer up ahead. He is just fighting for that position, considering he has lap pitted already. So doing really well for that Renault car. Okay. Now skipping ahead, we have caught up to Magnussen. Magnussen really doing well yet again with that Renault car, the banana car. So we brake a little bit early, lose a lot of speed in time, turning really late, but we can catch up to him. We're able to catch up. We don't have DRS, we do not have any of the slipstream, but as you can see, we've caught up. We're about to the last couple turns of the race, of the lap. And you can see now we've got good traction onto the wheels. We got DRS, we got the slipstream. For some reason we go into the right side, but here we go. Can we pass him? Here we go. We're going really fast. We're passing him, and he's braked really early. We brake a little late, puts me off a little bit, but I'm able to keep it going. Very good stuff from Kevin Magnussen, but he has to back down. All right, here we go. Skipping to lap 8. Oh my! Nico Rosberg is out of the Australian Grand Prix. Now, I didn't get any footage of that, but it's terrible for the Mercedes now. And Mercedes, Hamilton's not even pole position. Oh, that's terrible. Alright, coming into lap 12 now, really trying to heat up our tires, really get some movement into there. We come into the corner, brake nice and easy coming into the corner. And it was just from here that didn't seem the most exciting of races. We just, did what Hamilton did best at, but we do understeer a little bit there. But anyway, from the rest of the race, we did hold our position like Hamilton does best in the races. But yet again, we understeer again. Wow. Just wow. Anyway, we're coming to lap 14 almost, and we're about to one more lap of this Australian Grand Prix. But as you can see now, that we just held the race. We just completely held. We did what Hamilton does best. He wins at Hamilton and Rosberg. He comes first, try to hold the race, and just try to stay first. But as you can see now, we lose our grip. We lose a little bit of our head. I was really scared, wondering if I was going to get locked off on my last lap. But I seem to be okay, braking nice and early. Don't want to crash anytime now. So as you can see now, we're coming for the last couple of turns of the Australian Grand Prix. And now, one more turn, getting good traction, following that line as best as we can. We follow the straight, and it seems like we have won the Australian Grand Prix for our first race. Woo!
Brilliant stuff from McLaren today. What a superb victory. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm really happy to see them there on the top step of the podium. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. We see a new name at the top of the championship table as we reach the end of the Grand Prix.